Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you're all doing fine at home, no? So, this will be part of our topic for the pre final. And next week, please be reminded, no, that on December 14 to 16, that will be your pre final examination. So, we will cover the topics about exponentials and logarithmics, okay? As well as the simple interest and the following topics na ma-discuss nato for this week and for the coming week. Okay, so we'll have four parts only for this discussion. The warm up, all right, the warm up, the problem of the day, the lesson presentation, and the lesson quizzes. This will be a short one lang. Okay, let's have first the warm up. Number one is what is 35 increased by 8%? So, pila man daw? Pag si 35, tugangan nato ng 8%. So, the first thing that we should do is to convert 8% into its decimal form. Saon man? Remember or isulat nino? From percentage to decimal, divide the number by 100. So 8 divided by 100, that is 0.08. Si 0.08, it times nato kang 35, no? So 35 times 0.08, that is just 2.8. Okay. So if you are to understand the problem daw, again, pila man daw pag sa 35, dugangan ng 8%. Now we have already solved that 8% or 0.08 of 35 is just 2.8. So it's increased no taas or gidugangan. So 2.8 plus 35, that gives us 30 pala 37.5. Okay, so kinahanglan kabayo ka mo mag-convert from decimal to percentage and vice versa. So palikon ko. Percentage to decimals, i-divide lang ang percentage by 100. Okay? Decimals to percentage, i-times lang sa decimal by 100. Next, what is the percent of decrease from 144 to 120? Percent of decrease. So, una kita diri kang decrease ni ubos. So, pag decrease, subtraction, no? 144 minus 120, its difference is 24. Na kay ang gipangita is porsyento man, no? Pilay percent sa pag-ubos. Gikan kang 144 down to 120. So we have already subtracted 144 minus 120. Pila ganito? That is pila 24, no? So 24 ilahang difference. Now 24 i-divide nato ni siya kang 144. Okay, we're looking for the percentage man. 24 divided by 144. Pila man na siya? You try to compute sa inyong calculators. So we'll stick two digits after the decimal point. Okay, that is 16.7, 0.167. Okay? That's 0 point or point na lang, 0.167. Kani siya, naka-decimal point pa, no? Ang gipangita man kay porsyento, percentage. So, unsaon gani ito? Pag mag-convert, decimal ni to percent. Kaina, percent to decimal, so nag-divide kita by 100. This time, decimal to percent, so mag-times kita ng 100. So, 0.167 times 100, that is just equal to, wala, that is 16, okay, approximately 16.7%. So, ang percent of decrease is 16.7. No? Sinuubos si 144 to 120 by 16.7%. Next, what is 1,500 decreased by 75%? So, decreased na ubos, kuhaan ta. Pila man daw si 1,500 pagkuhaan nato ng 75%. So, convert asa nato. 75% to decimals. So, 75 divided by 100, that is 0.75, no? So 0.75 na siya. Now, 0.75, okay? 0.75 times 1,500, that is pila man? Use your calculators. Okay, that is 1,125, no? So decreased man, decreased by 75%. 75% ni 1,500 is 1,125. So if you are to subtract that, the result will be pilaman. That is 300. Okay, 375. So kung kuhaan pa dyan nato si 1,500 ng 75%, ang bilin na lang is 375. Okay, next. What is the percent of increase? So kaina percent of decrease, no? This time, percent of increase. Ano increase man? Kay no taas man. From 0.32 to 0.64. So pilay atong gidugang kang 0.32 para mahimo ni na 0.64. That is 0.32 lang gihapon, no? So 0.32 ang atong gidugang. Now, si 0.32, pila man na siya ka percent ni 0.32? So divide nato 0.32 divided by 0.32, that is 1 times 100, that is 100%. Or pwede na gani di na ninyo i-solve kay 'di ba? Parehas man sila na number. They are equal. So pasabot, it's 100%, no? Nag-add kita ng 0.32 or the number itself to itself to get 0.64. So balik-balikon ko, decimals to percentage, divide by 100. Decimals to percentage times 100. Percentage to decimals, divide by 100. Okay, so these are the answers, no? You may screenshot this one. Pwede pod kani, pero gubot man, kanina lang siya. You might wonder, ma'am, nga nung 16 and 2/3 man na siya, that is equivalent to approximately 16.7%. It's the same. Okay, so we have a problem of the day here. Maggie is running for class president. No? A poll revealed that 40% of her classmates have decided to vote for her. 32% have decided to vote for her opponent, and 7 voters are undecided. Now, if she needs 50% of the vote to win, how many of the undecided voters must vote for Maggie for her to win the election? Sige. So si Maggie is running for the class president. 40% sa ija classmates mubotar sa ija. 32% sa ija classmates mubotar sa ija kontra. Unya na ay 7%. 7 individuals, 7 ka-classmate niya rather, nga undecided or nagduha-duha pa. Now, para mo daog si Maggie, kinahanglan ni dyan ng 50%. So, 50%, ija kailangan, no? Ato anay tagpi-tagpion. Na ay 40%, na ay 32%, unya kani, 7 kabuok. I-convert sa nato siya sa 7. Pila may equivalent kaning 7 ka classmate ni Maggie in percentage. 'Di ba all in all na atay 100%, 'di ba? 100 tama? Okay, 100% minus 40% ang mubutar kang Maggie. Okay. Minus 32% ang mubutar sa iyahang kontra. So, pila man na siya? 100 minus 40, that's 60. 60 minus 32, that is 28. So, pasabot, si 28% consist of kaning 7 ka-classmate ni Maggie. Now, kailangan ko nun ni Maggie ng 50 ka porsyento sa ijaboto. So kung naanay 40 ka percent na mubutar kang Maggie, pila may kulang? Para mag-50. Na naman siya 40%, 'di ba? Pila may ato kuhaon diri kang 28. So magdugang lang kita ng 10%, no? 10% para maka 50% si Maggie sanang para mudaog si Ja. Tama ba? Okay, naana no? So 10%. Now, unsaon man nato ni? Pila man ang pangutana? How many of the undecided voters must vote for Maggie? So pila man sa city kabuok ang angay kuhaon ni Maggie. 'Di ba aware naman kita na from 28%, 10% lang atong kailangan. But if we are to look at the numbers, from 7 undecided voters, pila man kabuok ang ato kuhaon diha. So gamit kita ng equation. So si X mao na siya ang number of voters na kuhaon nato out of 7 classmates ni Maggie. Okay, equals. Kaning X, pila gani ni ka porsyento? That is 10%, no? 10%. Next. Kaning 7, pila na siya ka porsyento? That is 28%. Okay, so hanapon ta ang value ni X. Para mas dali ni pag-solve, mag-cross multiply ra kanta. X times 28, 7 times 10. Now, X times 28, that is, pala, 28X. Okay. 7 times 10, okay, that is 70. Now, kinahanglan si X na kanang mabilin da, no? Kuhaon ta kung pila man kabuok ang botante na needed out of 7 students. So, divide both sides by 28. Okay, divide both sides by 28. Okay. Now, this gives us x na lang. Okay. And then 70 divided by 2.8. Okay, try using your calculators. That is, wala, that is 2.5. But take note, we are referring to the number of students. So, pag magbilang kita ng number of students or voters, by whole numbers, baya na siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dili man pwede na ang kimpang 0.5 lang imong bilang sa iya. That's another 1 man. So, ato ni siya i-convert. I-approximate nato, i-round off nato. So, instead na 2.5, this will give us 3. O sabot, ang 10% ng 28, ang 10% ng kaning kuhaon nato lang na naboto is 3 lang. 3 out of 7 students, no? So again, kinahanglan makakuha si Maggie ng 3 ka boto gikan sa katong 7 ka boto na nagduha. So that is how you will solve mathematical problems. First, you read the statement, you list down what is given, you answer what is asked. You give what is asked. Now, let's learn to compute simple interest. So, these are the terms associated kang simple interest, no? We have the interest itself, the simple interest, the principal, and the rate of interest. Okay. So, definition. Interest daw is the amount of money charged for borrowing or using money. When you deposit money into a savings account, you are paid interest. So in other words, si interest mauna siya ang tubo, no? Kung mangutang kag kwarta, na ay tubo, 'di ba? Na ay charge. Kung mangutang ka 500 pesos, ang ipabayad sa imo is 550 pesos na. Kung mag-deposit sad ka sa bangko, let's say ng 1,000 pesos, after a month, nahimo na ng 1,001 pesos. So, katong tubo ato na kwarta, katong nadugang na kwarta sa imong tag-utang o tag-invest, ang tawag ana is interest. Now, there are two types of interest, si simple interest o si compound interest. But in this lesson, we'll focus on the simple interest. Okay, this is a one type of fee paid for the use of money. So sa simple interest, mauki ni ang tubo na kaisa lang i-charge, kaisa lang i-add up didto sa kwarta na imong tag-utang o sa kwarta na imong tag-deposit. So how do we compute the simple interest? Naatay formula. You have I equals P times R times T. So I, this stands for the simple interest. Again, this is the money paid only on the principal amount. So, isa lang ni siya madugang. Dito lang ni siya i-add o kuhaon gikan sa principal amount. Next, si P, this is the principal amount or the amount of money borrowed or invested, no? Kanang kwarta na inyong tag-utang, tagpautang or tag-invest, ang tawag ana is the principal. Next, the rate of interest. This is the percent charged or earned. So pila ka porsyento. This is in the form of percentage or percent, no? Pila ka porsyento ang tubo? Kabantay ka mo pag naay sa inyong mga ginikanan or sa mga adults na amoy mabatian, pila ka porsyento tubo pag mangutang diha na bangko? Pilay rate of interest pag mag-invest diha na bangko? No? That refers to the percentage. Pilay porsyento sa tubo. Next, the time. So time in years that the money is borrowed or invested. So for how many months man daw bayran ang kanang giutang nimo or pila ka tuig man na siya. So ang standard time nato is years. But if ang given nga time is days, i-divide nimo siya by 365. Kay in a year, there are 365 days man, 'di ba? Kung ang given na time is months, so you divide that into 12. Divide it by 12, no? Kaya in a year, there are 12 months man. And if weeks ang given, so divide it again by 52 weeks. Kaya in a year, there are 52 weeks man. Okay, again, ang standard time na to, that is in the form of years. Okay, let's have an example. Finding the interest and the total payment on loan. So kuhaon daw nato ang tubo unya ang total na bayaran nato kung kita mangutang. Sige. So to buy a phone, Jessica borrowed 15,000 pesos for 3 years at an annual simple interest rate of 9%. How much interest will she pay if she pays the entire loan off at the end of the third year? What is the total amount that she will repay? So, si Jessica daw nangutang ng 15,000 pesos. So, ito, pag ang kwarta nagiutang og tag-invest, that is your principal for 3 years. So, tulo ka tuig, this refers to your time, no? At an annual simple interest rate of 9%. So, pilay percent? That is rate of interest, that is 9%. So, man siya ang atong R. Ang gipangutana, pila may daw iyang bayaran after 3 years. So, given na, na-spot na nato, kinsa si P, kinsa si T, kinsa si R. Gamito na dadyo nato ang formula. I equals P times R times T. Okay? So, I, that is unknown, kopyaha lang. Si P nato, that is given, no? 15,000. So, substitute lang nato. Times, si R nato, that is 9%. So, ang 9%, atong i-convert into decimals, that is 0.9. So, tag-divide lang nato si 9 by 100, no? To make it 0.9. Then, si T nato, the number of years, that is 3. I-multiply na dayon. 15,000 times 0.09 times 3, that gives you 4,050 pesos. So, after 3 years, amo ini ang tubo sa utang ni Jessica. Kaya nagpatugat-tuga man pagpangutang para pampalit ng cellphone. So, natubag na nato, mauni siya ang interest. Next nato pangitaon is ang total payment. Pila man tanan ang bayaran ni Jessica. So, Jessica will pay 4,050. Ang interest pa ni siya, ang tubo. Now, you can find the total amount denoted by A to be repaid on the loan by adding the principal amount plus the interest. So, para makuha daw nato ang total amount, ang total na bayaran ni Jessica, i-add lang nato ang kwarta na tag-utang ni Jessica sanan ang tubo sa iya inutang. This comes with the formula amount equals the interest plus the principal. So, principal amount, ang kwarta na tag-utang ni Jessica, 15,000. I, ang tubo or interest, 4,050. Adding them, so you have 19,050 pesos. Pasabot, after 3 years, ang bayaran ni Jessica is 19,050 pesos na. Imagine, nangutang lang kag 15,000. Unyang imong bayaran, 19,000 na. More than 19,000. So come to think of it, it's really a hassle pag mag-utang-utang kita. No? So, if pwede likayan, mulikay kita sa utang. Or if mangutang kita, mangutang ka nga huwais. Unsay pasabot ana, jaganan nimang imong utang? No. So, pag mangutang ka, make sure that it will be invested in a business. Kaya kung mag-business ka, there's a tendency na mabalik, ma-roll out man ang kwarta. Okay? Next, another example. To buy a sandal, Elaine borrowed 2,000 for 3 years at an annual simple interest rate of 5%. How much interest will she pay if she pays the entire loan off at the end of the third year? What is the total amount that she will pay? So namuyo si Elaine kay mag-Christmas party tingali ni sila. Gusto ni siya ng branded nga sandal. So namuyos siya nga ng 2,000 pesos. So this is the principal amount for 3 years. 3 years ni Elaine bayran ang ijang utang. Imagine, para ra sa sandal, mangutang ka ng tulo ka ng 2,000 pesos, magsagubang kag bayad for 3 years. Okay, with a simple interest of 5%. How much interest will she pay if she pays the entire loan off at the end of the third year? So, impasan daw ni Elaine after 3 years ng iyahang utang, no, with a 5% interest. What is the total amount that she will repay? So, same gihapon na formula ato gamiton, no? I equals P times R times T. I is unknown, so copy lang. Si P nato, ang kwarta na tag-utang. Again, si principal amount, kwarta na tag-utang or tag-invest, no? That is 2,000 pesos. Si R nato, that is the rate of interest, 5%. Converted to decimals, that is 0.05. Ang time nato, that is 3 years. So multiplying them, we'll have 300 pesos as the interest. Mo ni siya ang charge or ang tubo. 2,000 pesos lang ang tag-utang ni Elaine. Pila may bayaran ni siya after a year with the tubo na. So 2,000 plus 300, Elaine will be paying 2,300 pesos tungod ra sa sandal. Oh, so again, kung malikayan mang utang, likay ka jud, no? Kay magsagubang ka mo ana, makuba mo ana. Okay, so that is how you will compute for the simple interest and the total amount. Sometimes si total amount gitawag pod siya nga maturity value or future value. Ang thought lang dito is i-add di mo si principal amount plus the interest. Okay. So kung kaina, we looked for the simple interest. This time, atong pangitaon si time. Pila ka years man bayran or pila ka years man i-invest. So in this example, we have Nancy invested 6,000 in a bond at a yearly rate of 3%. She earned 450 in interest. How long was the money invested? So tag-invest na kwarta is 6,000 pesos. So that's the principal amount. Ang rate, percentage, the rate of interest, 3%. She earned 450 daw i-interest. Unsa man ni siya? Mao ni siya ang tubo or ang interest itself in its exact amount. Ang pangutana, pila man katuig tag-invest ang kwarta. So, same gihapon na formula ato ganiton. I equals P times R times T. Interest ang tubo, that is 450 pesos, no? Equals ang principal amount, that's 6,000, times ang rate of interest, 3%, converted to decimals, that's 0.03, times ang time nato, kay unknown pa man na siya, maumanay gipangita ta. All you have to do is to copy that. Next, bring down 450. Multiply 6,000 times 0.03 times t. That gives you 180 t. So, ang target gani nato is the time man, no? So, we divide both sides by 180. Okay. Divide both sides by 180. 180 divided by 180, that is 1 times t. That gives you 1t or t na lang. 450 divided by 180, that is 2.5. So imagine 2.5 years tag-invest ang kwarta sa bond. No, 2 years and 6 months to be exact. 0.5, 'di ba? Pila man kabuyan ka ng 0.5, pila may katunga sa isa ka tuig, that is 6 months. So 2.5 years or 2 years and 6 months. Okay, another example. TJ invested 4,000 pesos in a bond at a yearly rate of 2%. He earned 200 in interest. How long was the money invested? So si TJ nag-invest, ang kwarta na tag-invest is 4,000 that is the principal amount. Okay? Ang porsyento, that is the rate of interest, no? R. Ang tubo, that is the interest itself, that is I. So, ang gipangita gihapon is ang time. We'll be using the same formula. Okay, so you have I, ang tubo, that is 200 pesos. Ang principal amount nato, that's 4,000 pesos. Ang rate of interest, that's 2%. Converted to decimals, that's 0.02. Copy si T kay unknown man gihapon. Bring down 200. 4,000 times 0.02 times T, that gives you 80 T. So we divide both sides by, pila man? 80, no? Si 80 ang atong gamiton kani siya kay para matangtang diha. Okay? So 80 divided by 80, that is 1 times T, that gives you T. 200 divided by 80, that gives you 2.5. Okay? So 2.5 or 2.5 years gihapon na invest ang kwarta sa bank. Okay, another example, computing for the total savings. So si A ang atong pangitaon, no? Or ang principal amount plus the interest. We have here the scenario. John's parents deposited 10,000 pesos into a savings account as a college fund when he was born. How much will John have in this account after 18 years at a yearly simple interest rate of 3.25%? So kay responsible man ang parents ni John, nag-deposit sila ng savings account na 10,000 pesos para kang John. So this will be our principal, no? How much will John have in this account after 18 years? So, ang time nato is 18 years. Ang rate of interest nato, that is 3.25%. No? So, kung nag-deposit daw ang parents ni John ng 10,000 para pang tuition or tuition fund or college fund ni John, after 18 years, pila na may madawat niya with the rate of interest nga 3.25. So, use gihapon ang formula nato, no? I, that's unknown, kopyahan lang. P, principal amount, that's 10,000 pesos. Rate of interest, that's 0.0325, no? 3.25% converted to decimals. So 3.25 divided by 100, that's 0.0325 times ang T nato or number of years, that is 18. Multiply them all together, you get 5,850. Mauni siyang interest, mauni siya ang tubo after 18 years. Ang pangutana kay pila man ang total savings, pila man tanan-tanan. So i-add lang nato, no? Ang 10,000 which is ang principal amount or ang kwarta na tag-invest, tag-deposit plus ang interest ang tubo nga 5,850. So after 18 years makadawat si John ng 15,850 pesos. So that's the idea there, no? That's the good thing in saving. If you will be saving, so in the next coming years na akay mahabwa na kwarta. But this is 3.25% ang interest rate. Dako na kaayo. Kaya sa uban na bangko, that's 0.01 lang, I think. 0.01 ba to? Itong amo, I do not know. I forgot. 1%. Ubos lang kaayo ang tubo. No? Okay, another example. Bertha deposited 50,000 pesos into a retirement account when she was 18. How much will Bertha have in this account after 50 years at a yearly simple interest rate of 7.5%? So, ang tag-deposit na kwarta, 50,000. This will be your principal amount. Imagine, 18 pa si Bertha, nag-deposit na siya, nag-ipon na siya, which has accumulated to 50,000, no? 50,000 iyang nag-deposit para sa iyang retirement account, no? So after 50 years daw, which is our time, pila man daw ang madawat ni Berta with 7.5% rate of interest. So same gihapon si formula. I, kopya na siya. P, money deposited 50,000, rate of interest 75%, converted to decimals, that's 0.075. Time, that's 0.50. So multiplying all together, naa kay tubo nga 18,750, no? So 50,000 lang ang gi-deposit ni Berta adtong 18 years old pa si Ja. So after 50 years, nitubo na ng 18,750. So pila naman tanan ija kwarta? That is 68,750. Gi-add lang nimo si principal amount, ang kwarta na tag-deposit nimo plus ang tubo. So na siya 68,750. See, imagine what you can do with your savings. Imagine what will happen if you will have savings. So it's really important na as early as now you should have with you your savings. So it's either from your business, from allowance, ipon gajud. Di para pag naa na may business or naa na may plano, na may kwarta na ika-back up. Okay? Next. Mr. Johnson borrowed 80,000 gibusla na kwarta, that is the principal amount, for 4 years to make home improvement. So this is the time. If he repaid a total of 100,320, at what interest rate did he borrow the money? So, ang total down, ang gibuslan ni Johnson, Mr. Johnson, para sa home improvements is 80,000 lang. For 4 years na siya. Kunya, for 4 years, after 4 years, ang iyang gibayaran is 100,320. Ang pangutana is, pila man ba dya ang porsyento? Pila man ba dya ang rate of interest na to? So, since given man ang total amount, so gamiton ta anay si total amount, no? As our formula. So, A equals P plus I. Mao may present diri a. Okay, so ang principal amount, ang kwarta na tag-utang, that is 80,000 plus ang interest or ang tubo nato. Okay? Equals. Kaning sa interest, unknown pa man siya. Wala pa man nato hibay eh. Equals ang total amount, which is 100,320. So, atong prestaron, I is equal to, kani siya, kani dari ana portion, ato lang na siya, kopya. Then 80,000, itabok man nato sa pikas na side from positive, this becomes negative 80,000, no? So 100,320 minus 80,000, this gives us 20,320. So mao di ay ni siya ang tubo pa. Dili pa ni kung ang rate of interest, di pa ni kung ang porsyento, no? So ang 80,000 lang ang giutang, nagbayad man siya ng 100,320, pasabot ang gitubo is 20,320. Now, using the formula of the simple interest, pwede na nato i-convert katong digits nato diri ah. So, ang tubo, ang interest, that's 20,320. Ang principal amount, ang tag-utang, 80,000 times R. Maumaning atong gipangita, no? The rate of interest times T, which is the number of years, 4. So, 20,320, 80,000 times R times 4, that gives us 320,000 times R. No? 80,000 times 4, that's 320,000 man. Kopya si R. Now, divide nato both sides by 20,000. Tama? Okay, we divide both sides by 320,000. Okay, so this is 320K. Ako na lang i-K. Okay, para dili taas, 320K. So this is 1 times R. We're left with R, 20,000. 320 divided by 320,000. That gives us 0.635. But then, we're looking for the percentage man. Decimal man ni siya. So, i-times nato kang 100. 0.0635 times 100, that gives us 6.35%. Pasabot, ang porsyento or ang rate of interest, no, ang porsyento ng tubo is 6.35%. Okay, another example. Mr. Mugi borrowed 9,000 pesos for 10 years to make home improvements. If he repaid a total of 20,000, at what interest rate did he borrow the money? So same situation kanina. Ang kwarta na tag-utang niya is 9,000 pesos. Unya, ang total na iyang tagbayaran is 20,000 pesos na. No? So 9,000 lang ang giutang, 20,000 ang gibayaran. Pilay tubo? That is 11,000. No? Kay 11,000 plus 9,000, that's 20,000. Mauna siya ang tubo. So wala pa na siya, interest pa na siya. Atong pangitaon pilay porsyento with the use of the same formula gihapon, no? So you have there ang tubo 11,000, ang kwarta na tag-utang 9,000. R, kopya ha, that's unknown. Ang time, that's 10 years, no? So 11,000 equals 9,000 times 10, that's 90,000 times R. Divide that to both sides by 90,000. So this is cancelled. We're left with R. 11,000 divided by 90,000, that's 0.12. Naa siya'y bar. Unsa may pasabutan ng bar? Pasabot nagbalik-balik si 2. Now, decimal man ni siya, i-convert nato in percentage, i-times nato by 100. 0.122222 times 100, that is 12.2%. Pasabot, ang annual interest rate sa giutang ni dyan na kwarta is 12.2%. Questions? Wala? Okay, sige. Let's have there's two questions. A bank is offering 2.5% simple interest on a savings account. If you deposit 5,000, how much interest will you earn in 1 year? No? So, ang bangko daw, 2.5% ang rate of interest niya. Kung nag-deposit ka ng 5,000 pesos, pila may tubo sa isa ka tuig. So, ang ipangita dira is ang interest, no? Ang value ni I. So you solve for that. Number two, Joshua borrowed 1,000 pesos from his friend and paid him back 1,050 in 6 months. What simple annual interest did Joshua pay his friend? So nangutang si Joshua ng 1,000 pesos. Ang iyang gibayran after 6 months is 1,050 na. What simple annual interest did Joshua pay his friend? So pila may simple interest niya. Okay, you try solving that. Mhm. Okay. So I will be flashing the answer here, and you give me the solution. Okay, number 1, that's ang interest niya is 125 in a year. Number 2, ang tubo niya, that is 10% lang. So you check if we have the same answer. But if wala ninyo maapa sa time, then you just try working it at home. Okay, number 3. The Hemmings borrowed 3,000 for home improvements. They repaid the loan and 600 in simple interest 4 years later. What simple annual interest rate did they pay? So, dere pangutana ang porsyento. Number 4, Mr. Berry had 120,000 in a retirement account. The account paid 4.25% simple interest. How much money was in the account at the end of 10 years? So, dere ang pangutana ang total amount. Okay? So you have again number 3, that's 5%. Number 4, that's 171,000 pesos. You try solving it. No, I have given you the answer, but I want you to give me the solution. And then you may take a screenshot of this. Number 1, para makasolve. Number 2, okay? You take a screenshot again para naamoy ansiranan sa inyong balay. Number 3, number 4, and number 5. Number 4 lang rather. So kung sa una, I want you to give the answer. I have taught you the solution. This time, I will be giving you the answers and you provide the solution. So for number 1, the answer is letter C. Number 2, the answer is letter A. Number 3, the answer is letter A. Number 4, the answer is letter C. Okay. Questions? Violent reactions? None? Okay, so if you no longer have questions, that would be all for today's meeting. I hope that you've learned something. Goodbye and God bless us all.